Do you find yourself with a lack of motivation and feeling stuck, like you just can't get going when it's time to do things to build your home-based business? Well, I'm Loralee Humpherys, and I support coaches, consultants, health and wellness advocates to create the succulent life that you love through a home-based business lifestyle. And in this episode of Faces of Freedom TV, then I'll be sharing with you some things that you can draw on to help you get past the no motivation stage to get you up and going again. So you're going to definitely want to tune in and listen to the end, where I will also be sharing with you some tips and free resources that you can use to help you get through the no motivation block. All right. So I am no stranger to feeling unmotivated. In my business, I've dealt with it as well. And so some of the things that I'm sharing with you, I'm hoping will help you get through your motivation blocks, because that's what I've done. So when we're looking at motivation, or the lack thereof rather, then it's important to really start looking at what's underneath it. Do you just stay on the surface, so to speak, and criticize yourself for not doing the thing that you told yourself that you were going to do or that needed to get done? So you've got this block of time in the afternoon, and yet the afternoon slipped by and it's just gone and you didn't do anything. So what do you do in that moment? Do you start looping around in the self-criticism and punishment and negative self-talk? Or do you really start digging below the surface to find out what's really going on with this pattern? Okay. When you're starting to do a home-based business, it's a lot of new stuff, new learning, new disciplining your time, skills, things that you've got to learn, technology, learning, meeting new people, learning how to sell. It can be a lot of overwhelm. And it's a lot of the unknown because it's all new. And so is your lack of motivation, really a surface response to an underlying feeling of fear about you don't know what you're doing because all of this is new and it's overwhelming? You're not going to know what's driving the motivation unless you sit back and really start looking at what's going on inside of me, rather than just going into the default of negative self-chatter and criticism. Okay. So let's do some digging about what's really driving the lack of motivation. Learn to do some self-inquiry and self-discovery to know yourself better, know your patterns, and what drives you, so that you can identify patterns, beliefs, emotional hang-ups that keep you stuck in old patterns like lack of motivation that prevent you from moving forward to build your business the way you know it needs to get done. Okay. So take out a piece of paper and pencil or journal and start writing some notes, or even pull out your laptop and type if that's more comfortable for you. But really start questioning and asking yourself, why am I even wanting to do this business? Why did I sign up for it? Why did I start it? What's driving me? Do I really have a strong enough reason for doing it? If you don't, then that can show up as not having enough motivation. Or also look at, is it really the best time in your life? Do you have so many of these other responsibilities and family and work situations, or maybe even your own health, that you've got to put in place and take care of before you can really have the time, the energy, the resources required to spend on building your home business? Because if you're really not clear about that, and if it's truly, truly not the right time for you, then that can show up again as not having the motivation. So do some journaling and really get clear on what is your purpose? Why are you wanting to do this? What's your end goal? How plugged into that are you? Is it just a mental construct, or do you feel in your heart, yes, this is really what I want to be doing, and you can feel it driving you and drawing you forward? Because if you can get in touch with that, with your heart truth and your core purpose, that can help propel you beyond the motivation, lack of motivation period. Okay? So really get clear on that. And if it truly is not the right business for you, or perhaps it's the right business but not the right time, or if you don't have the right resources and tools that you need, then get honest with yourself and admit that. Rather than continuing in this loop of self-criticism or self-punishment, beating up on yourself as to why you're not doing this and this and this to grow your business, then just admit and say, no, this is just not the right time. So get very clear on that. The thing I want to caution you with, though, is don't let your ego use that, not the bad timing reason, as a cop-out. It's easy to say, oh, it's just not at the right time to build my business, and so I'm not going to, and so I don't have to like push through this motivation wall. But what you're really doing is settling and not being honest with yourself and not facing the fears. So learn to distinguish. Is it really your ego talking that it's not time? Or is it your true inner heart truth telling you it's not time? So how would you tell the difference? One of the things that I do that makes it easy for me to sense and perceive the difference is ego is all mental chatter. It's all in your head. It's full of excuses and rationalizations and reasons and logic. It's all mental. Whereas the real truth from here, you feel it. It feels right in your body. It's different from just all these mental loops and reasons and rationalizations. So learn to distinguish those for yourself to know, yes, this is the right thing for me to be doing right now in my life or not. Okay, so that can help push you through the motivation. Another thing, big thing that hides underneath the motivation or lack thereof is confidence. How much do you really believe in yourself to be doing the things that need to get done, to go through the learning curve, to go through the awkward stages of talking to people that you don't know, learning how to sell, tripping over your words, getting out in front of people, learning technology. That's a lot of new stuff. It's a lot of learning curve, new activities, getting out of your comfort zone. That requires a lot of self-confidence and self-trust that you can do it, and having support structures or people in place to help you keep going. So if you're really struggling with the confidence and trusting yourself that you can do this, the self-esteem issues, that can really show up as no motivation. So again, do some journaling and take some quiet introspection time and say, do I really feel like I can do this thing? What's really driving the lack of motivation? Is it fear? Is it distrust? Is it something I don't know and I'm afraid of learning? So really clarify that for yourself. Another thing too is when you're doing a home-based business or learning new things, going into a whole new direction, it requires that you become a new person. Who you are right now today is the level of consciousness, of emotional intelligence and development of where you are right now reflects out into what your current life is. Okay, so how your life right now looks is a direct reflection of your own personal development. So to change your outer world by building your business and learning how to generate an income for yourself by learning to sell, you have to become something you're not currently today. That can be rather intimidating. And that can also set you up for not feeling motivated to push through into the unknown. However, if you do, then there's so many rich rewards waiting for you on the other side. So with this video, then I've put together a free resource guide that you can download. And in it, then it contains a 6-step guide or exercise to help walk you through how you can get beyond the block of not having much motivation. And part of that moves you in the direction of learning to become a new person, changing the habits that you do, which also includes changing your neurology, your body chemistry. That's what makes it so difficult when you're making changes, and it pushes you back into the old patterns and habits of, oh, this is how I've always done things. But to change into new patterns, then you have to become someone new. So there's a Dr. Joe Dispenza. I don't know if are you familiar with him? So I was hearing him talk, give a lecture one time, and he's talking about this, of how you need to become someone new, train your body into new patterns or actions and habits and behaviors. And he was given the analogy of when he goes to ride his horse, which he has not done, which he hasn't ridden for winter, in the early spring when he goes out for the first time, and he gets on the horse, and there's this few moments where he and the horse have this negotiation that they seem to have to go through every single time. So the horse has just been used to just meandering about, doing whatever its horse thing does during the winter. And then when he comes in the spring to ride it after a couple of months, then the horse is like, well, who are you? Why should I listen to you? It's like, yeah, I know you, but why are you on my back? And so there's this negotiation period where he has to sit with the horse and communicate with him and say, okay, I'm the rider. I've trained you to do what I told you to do. Don't run me into the barn like you want to do, but let's work together and follow my commands so we can go on this ride. And so he has to win the horse over so that the horse is in alignment with what he wants to do to go on this ride. So think of this as the same thing in working with your body. Your body has its own level of intelligence, and it has its own patterns, habits, things that you're accustomed to doing that's reflective of you as who you are right now and how your life is right now, which kind of feels comfortable, but yet kind of not. That's why you're wanting to do a home-based business. So you have to train your horse, train your body to do a new thing. And so there's always this communication or negotiation that you've got to do with your body mind, with your subconscious mind, to train it to learn new habits. Okay? And one of those new habits is to get beyond the motivation wall of stalling and not wanting to do things or not feeling like you have motivation. Look at that as the old patterns that you need to break. Okay? So in this download that I'm offering you in this video has a 6-step exercise that you can use anytime to help break those old patterns, to help train your body new ways of being so that you can become a new person, the person required of you to be successful in your home business. Okay? So download that. There's a link below this video or somewhere near this video where you can find the download link for that. And also what I'm including in this resource are 2 extra bonuses for you. So one of them, the first bonus is, as you're working this 6-step exercise, what helps to make it more effective for you is if you draw on the gifts from the plant world that Mother Nature, the earth, provides for us. So there's 2 different types of gifts of the plants that I explain to you and introduce to you in this resource guide that you can then draw on to support you in changing your habits and your internal neurology, your wiring, your nervous system, body chemistry, so that you can get beyond the lack of motivation. Okay? The second bonus that I'm including in this download resource for you is when you're doing a home-based business, then, especially if it's online, then there's a lot of learning that you need to do. Learning how to sell, learning how to market effectively, online technology and systems, a lot of stuff that you need to set up so that you can operate online. And that in itself, that learning curve for just those things can be a bit daunting sometimes, which could, again, drive you into the feeling of not being motivated. So in my resource guide, then I give you or send you to a source where I've learned a lot of those things to help me get through all that tech stuff so that I can be effective online and not be stuck in the lack of motivation, right? So download that guide. Use it, apply it. I hope it helps you, and let me know your results. So did you find this video useful? I'd love to hear from you. So what do you do when you get stuck in motivation? How do you move beyond it? Okay, so leave a comment below, subscribe to this channel, Faces of Freedom, and please share this video. So each week I add a new video with tips and resources to help you be successful in creating a succulent life that you love through a home business lifestyle. So if you like this and would like to know more about what I do, you can check out my blog at LoraleeHumpherys.com, and you can also find me on Facebook under my name, Loralee Humpherys, and the page of Faces of Freedom. All right, so enjoy this week's video, download my free resource gift for you, and until next time, enjoy.